Yet another new year has dawned upon us, this one seemingly quicker than the one before. As with every new year, I told myself, this year, I want to travel more. But instead of making this empty statement with nothing to hold me to it, I actually bought 2 tickets, booked an Airbnb, and next thing you know, I was on my way to Vancouver, British Columbia. We started the trip with an early morning 7 a.m. flight out of LAX Airport.
Mobile receiving and transmitting functions may now be used. As you prepare to deplane, please check to ensure you have all your personal electronic devices. And if you are connecting on any Air Canada flight today, you do not need to pick up your checked baggage unless you were advised to do so at check-in or by Canada Customs. For gate information, please refer to the screens inside the terminal or consult with one of our colleagues on the ground. Thank you for choosing Air Canada, member of the Star Alliance for your travels today. We hope you had a pleasant flight and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Officially made it into Canada.
After a smooth pass through customs, we got in our Enterprise shuttle and went to go get our rental car.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Take care. Take care.
Starving and eager to eat, we went to a well-known dim sum restaurant that was featured in the Netflix food show, Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner. This restaurant was recommended by Seth Rogen, seeing as he's a Vancouver native, and I must say, it did not disappoint. Probably the best dim sum I've ever had, to be honest. After stuffing our faces with egg rolls and dumplings, we headed to our Airbnb to drop off our things and get checked in. The apartment had a lovely aesthetic with many thoughtful touches and great attention to detail. Our next stop was a place called Grouse Mountain. Primarily visited in the winter by skiers and snowboarders, we found out sadly that there wasn't much to do. Historic Gastown is an area downtown famous for its plethora of trendy bars and restaurants, but also for the well-known steam-powered clock. We got dinner here in Gastown at a popular vegan restaurant called Meat. Next, we went to a craft beer pub down the street, tossed a few down the old hatch, and called it a night. The following morning, we woke up to a light and welcomed snowfall. After grabbing a marvelous breakfast and coffee, our next destination was the well-known Stanley Park. Also in the park is the Vancouver Aquarium. Happy at the idea of escaping the snow for a little while, we eagerly went in.
Just want to kiss the ceiling.
We grabbed a late lunch afterwards at a historic vegetarian restaurant and proceeded to Capilano Beach to enjoy the remaining sunlight. The next morning, we saw that there had been heavy snowfall through the night. The plan for the day was to visit Granville Island Public Market, which is essentially a smorgasbord of different food and drink vendors, guaranteed to please your taste buds. Later on, we went to a few shops, drank some coffee, had ramen, and enjoyed our last night in Vancouver. After packing our things and saying goodbye to our Airbnb, we still had one last thing on the list. Capilano Suspension Bridge Park is probably Vancouver's most famous attraction. It features a suspension bridge 230 feet suspended off the ground crossing the Capilano River. Although bursting with people, it's definitely a must if you're planning a trip to the city. Vancouver is a beautiful city with some of the best food that I've ever had and lots of fun things to do. Unfortunately, due to the heavy snow, we couldn't visit the world-famous wilderness areas nearby, but that just means I'll have to come back soon to do so.